Welcome back, y'all. This is the Bluechip Breakdown, and I'm your host, Bull. In today's video, we're going to take a look at that status report a little bit closer. We're also going to get back into looking at some of these bets with the Tennessee and Florida game. We didn't do it last weekend versus Arkansas, and we lost. I mean, I hate to be superstitious, but we're going to do it today. So please make sure to like and subscribe. All right, y'all, let's take a look at this status report that was just released last night, which was Wednesday night. As y'all know, we will have several more updates to this, and everything is subject to change, but whenever you're looking at Florida's list, man, a whole lot of players are out. And I don't think that any of these people are going to be shocks to, Florida fans or anything like that. So probably not a big deal from that perspective. But as you come on down here to the questionable players, you see up at the top, there's three defensive backs. They're all safeties. DJ Douglas, number 12, he's one of their starters at safety. And then Bryce Thornton, he's going to be number 18. He's a guy that rotates in very, very frequently. And then that third guy, I hope I'm saying his name right, but Asa Turner, he's going to be number 20. He also rotates in a lot at safety. So this could be a very big deal for Florida in this game because I'm expecting, I think most of us think that they will run some sort of a three-man front because Tennessee struggled with that. So in those three-man fronts, Tennessee has, I wouldn't even say struggled to run, but we haven't been able to run as much because the safeties have been unblocked and they've been able to come downhill. So if Florida's going to be missing three of their safeties, or possibly some sort of a combination of their best guys at safety, that could be a problem for their defense. Obviously, not just in trying to stop what Tennessee does from a running perspective, but also in that passing game. Clearly, the safeties are very, very important to a defense, even more so whenever you're playing some of these three-man fronts. So that is a very, very big deal. Also, with the offensive line, we've got Austin Barber listed as questionable. Now, he's going to be their starting left tackle. He's number 58. I think that he's very solid. Their entire offensive line is underrated. People are saying, well, the offensive line sucks, but how could you say that they've only given up like 5 or 6 sacks this whole season? So I think that they do a good job just in, keeping that pressure off of their quarterbacks. If he can't go, I think that that's going to be a very big deal for their offensive line because I haven't seen too many backup tackles rotating in. I've seen, 2 or 3 backup guards rotating, but I don't think that they have as much depth at the tackle spot. So what's that going to mean? Probably some people would have to, move from guard or, move from guard to tackle or from center to guard. It's going to be some sort of a makeshift offensive line. And going up against the front like Tennessee has, that is going to be a problem for sure. And it could maybe change up what they're trying to do within their game plan. Hopefully, all those things can help Tennessee out. Now, the last player is going to be Joey Slackman, who is a defensive lineman, more of a tackle body. He's number 97. He rotates in a lot, with their front, but that's another spot where they're very, very deep at. I mean, will they miss him some? I'm sure, but it's not, that's not going to be a big deal, I don't think, by any means. So let's go on down to Tennessee's players that are out. We already knew that Jordan Thomas was going to be out for the season. Edwin Spillman is still out. I hope that he is okay. Timmy G and I kind of talked about that last night. We do, I want to see him come back just because he needs to get in those reps. And I think that he could help this team out. Outside of that, we've got Ben Bolton, who is going to be doubtful. He's going to be a walk-on linebacker, more of a special teams player. And then, man, Dante Thornton, this one, that was a shocker whenever I saw this last night because he was able to finish the game versus Arkansas. He actually had a really big catch. So not quite sure what's going on there. I hope that he can go. Then Squirrel White, he's a player that sounds like he's dealing with an AC joint. So it's going to be more about that pain tolerance for him. Me personally, I would say let him rest, okay? Like let him rest that AC joint. We can put in other players that I think can operate at a really, really high level, just like Squirrel can. So why not just let him rest, man? We've got Alabama coming up next weekend, and I'm definitely not looking past Florida, but y'all understand, right? Like, this is a long season. If you've got some other players that can step up, let them step up. So I'm at the point right now where I'm kind of like not expecting for Squirrel to go in this game. The next player, Christian Harrison, this was another kind of shocker for me. Listed as probable. If he can't go, that's going to be really big. Playing at the star position, it's just been him and Boo kind of rotating in. Who's going to kind of fill his spot? I don't know. Like we've got players who can do it. Maybe Christian Charles, maybe he could do it. I don't know. We've got several guys who I think could fill in at that spot. Just the question is, who will it be? And just because we haven't had too many people rotate in right there. So that, right, I'm hoping that he can go. I feel like he's a guy that if he can go, if he's not going to be limited with, like a lower body type of a deal, then he needs to go. If it's more upper body, yeah, I think that he needs to try to push through it. And he's a tough kid. I know that if he can go, he's definitely going to do it. Now, Last, we've got Brew. He's listed as probable. So sounds like he's got some sort of a special glove for his finger, or for his hand, whatever, to I guess make it easier for him to catch the football and things like that. But it's not going to be easy. If you've got some sort of a hand injury or ailment and you're trying to catch a football, it's always going to be some sort of a problem. Now, Brew is a dog. I would love for him to go. It's because he brings so much physicality to this team on the outside. But we've got other guys, man. Like we've got studs inside of that room. We've got more dogs that can also bring that physicality. It's got to be next man up for the people who can't go. We shouldn't have all these players feel like, man, we got to force ourselves out there and play so that the team can win. They need to be able to trust their teammates to step up in these spots. And I'm hoping that that is what will happen this season. Or, I mean, hopefully these guys just feel good and they can go out there and play. All that's great. But either way, if they do play, it'll probably be a little bit more limited. And some other people will still have to rotate in and get more playing time than they've probably seen this entire season. All right, y'all. I'm gonna try to win you some money. Taking a look at some of these bets. Now, the crazy thing is, typically, whenever we do this, there's going to be some more like prop bets where we can bet on players, yardage and touchdowns, things like that. It's not showing up this week. It's just going to be more about the scores. So let's keep that in mind. But hopefully, I can still win y'all some money. So number one, Tennessee's favored by 15 and a half points right here. I don't know if I would take that just because I mean, Tennessee's offense over the past couple of weeks has not looked great, and I don't think that our offense can operate the way that it has versus Florida and beat them by this many points. If we do, it would just be because the defense stepped up in a major way. So if the offense doesn't get going, especially down the field, passing some more touchdowns, things like that, I don't see Tennessee being able to win by this many points. So I would go with the under. I know some people are thinking, well, maybe Tennessee can run the football down Florida's throat, and we've talked about that all week. I don't think that Tennessee's run game is built to run down Florida's throat. We would have to mix up some things that we haven't typically done as much of for us to do that. And we would have to be very successful in doing it. So we'll move on right here to Tennessee's total points. They've got Tennessee's total points at 35 and a half. I would go with the under on that. I don't know if Tennessee scores that many points versus this Florida defense. Now, we did talk about several of their secondary players might not be playing. That could play a very major role in how many points Tennessee could put up in this game, obviously. So we'll see what happens. But at this point, as things stand right here, I would probably go with the under on that. Now, let's take a look at Florida's total points. They're saying 20 and a half. I could see Florida scoring about this much. I don't want to give y'all like a final score prediction right here. We're going to wait till Saturday, but I could see Florida going over that just because I think that their offense is probably going to be presenting some problems to Tennessee's defense. It has, over the past few seasons. So I would probably go with the over on that. Let's take a look at this one right here. The first drive result. Offensive touchdown, plus 130. Field goal attempt. This is for Tennessee, plus 600. Punt, plus 170. And then any other, plus 550. Again, man, I think that Tennessee's offense will get going, okay? And if it does get going, it needs to be on that first drive. So I'm going to say go ahead and go with the offensive touchdown. You got some pretty good numbers right there. So I would go with that. I think the Tennessee can pull that out. Again, I'm just hoping and praying that the offense gets things going. Now let's take a look at Florida's first drive. Okay, so for offensive touchdown, they're plus 380. For field goal attempt, they're plus 550. Punt is minus 130. And then any other is going to be plus 410. So I'm going to be kind of bold with this. If you want to have, I wouldn't call this like a lock bet, but if you want one of those bets that's just, kind of off kilter some, I would go with the any other here because I can see Tennessee getting a turnover on the first drive in this game. And the reason that I say that is because Graham Mertz is very predictable. He wants to check the football down. So if we come out with a really good game plan and if we can funnel him and force the ball to go where we want it to go, don't be surprised if some of these guys come up and are able to, pick that football off. Or, hey, maybe, we know that their running back has had a few struggles holding on to the football. Not very many, but he has had some. Maybe we come out, maybe we're punching at that ball. Maybe we can get a turnover early. So I'm going to go with that one right there as, my off-kilter bet. Now let's look at the first quarter spread. It is plus 3.5, or I'm sorry, Florida is going to be plus 3.5. So they think that Tennessee will be winning by 3.5 points in the first quarter. I think I would take that. I think the Tennessee will be winning by more than that in the first quarter. I think Tennessee's going to look good in the first quarter. Typically in this game, Tennessee's gotten off to a fast start, and then we've kind of sputtered towards the end of the game. And I'm not much of a person that necessarily looks back, over time and stuff. I'm not real big into that because I think every season, every team is different. But I would still, I could still see the game playing out like that. So I would take Tennessee with this one. Second quarter, Tennessee is -4.5. I would take that as well. Third quarter, okay, this is where things will get a little bit more tricky. Tennessee at -3.5. I would probably take that. You know what I mean? Just because I think that in the fourth quarter is when the game, if it does get close, this is when it, probably will end up getting close. And the +3.5, or I'm sorry, the -3.5 for Tennessee. I think that I would maybe go with the +3.5 for Florida because I think that this is based off of how the game ends. I could see the game ending by, or I could see the game being within 3 points by the time that it ends. So let's move on to the first half winner. Y'all already know I'm picking Tennessee with this at -470. And then first half spread, I'm going to go, let's see, Tennessee -8.5. That sounds about right to me. I think the Tennessee will probably be up by about, 9 to 10 points in the first half. So I'll go with that. And then go with the first half total, 28.5 for the over under. So that would mean if I have Tennessee, I don't even want to have to do that, man. So I would have Tennessee. I think I might take the under on this. I mean, 28.5 points. I think I'm going to go with the under for sure. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope that y'all did enjoy it. And please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. We'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.